So Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, as I'm calling it officially, as today's title indicates, the gunfight at the Oive Corral. The very Jewish Ben Shapiro, the very black and Christian Candace Owens. It had to come to loggerheads at some point.
It did.
Now, people don't realize this, but Ben Shapiro has a not very well-hidden disdain for Christians. He doesn't like them very much. He milks them out of their money. He'll take these dumb fucking right-winger Christians' money. But when it comes to actual Christianity, this guy is, in my opinion, a Jewish supremacist. You talk about white supremacy, black supremacy, this supremacy, that. He is a Jewish supremacist, dyed in the wool. Because when this guy talks about Jesus or Christianity or anything else, it's always smug. It's always dismissive. It's almost as cringe as watching an atheist talk about Christianity.
Yes, and that's unbearable.
That's unbearable to hear. So Ben Shapiro went on Joe Rogan's show years ago, and Rogan's like, well, if you're Jewish, what do you think Jesus was? And he goes, well, I think he was a Jew who led a rebellion against the Roman Empire and got killed for his trouble.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay, so you're a bigger cunt than Muslims then when it comes to Jesus, because Muslims hold Jesus in high regard. They don't view him as Jesus Christ. They don't view him as the savior of humanity or anything like that, but they do hold him in high regard. He's respected in the Muslim faith as one of their prophets.
Yes.
But in Judaism, they don't really like to talk about Jesus very much.
It's a sore spot.
Yeah, and you know why they don't like to talk about him very much?
Why is that, Aaron?
Because they pretty much had him killed.
Tiny bit.
Yes. And they like to deny that. They go, no, it was the Romans. It's like, really? Because the Romans tried everything they could to go, don't make us fucking kill this dude. And they're like, you better fucking kill that guy. And they're like, wait, this guy, Barabbas, is the biggest piece of shit you'll ever meet in your life. I can release this guy who might kill one of your family members, or Jesus. And the Jews went, get Barabbas the fuck out of here. You can go to the mall. I don't give a shit. Kill that fucking Jesus guy. He flipped over some of our presentation tables at the community expo at the temple. He was a piece of shit. Kill him.
Well, it's got out of hand.
So Ben Shapiro talks about Jesus like he's just some common thug criminal.
Yeah.
And when talked about anything Israel related or anything Jewish related, oh, they can do no wrong. And I mean, Ben Shapiro to me is not very far away from just basically going, you know, I think it would be a lot better if we just got rid of all the Muslims that were in Gaza and the West Bank, and we just moved all the Jews in there and pushed out all the Muslims. The world would be a much better place. In fact, I don't doubt that he believes that. I just don't know if he would say it publicly.
I just wish we had decided to put Palestine somewhere else way back when it counted.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like, isn't the whole...
No, you got to go. You're doing it. You've got it flipped.
Is it flipped?
You've got it flipped. You're saying we should have put Israel
thing?
somewhere else.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, Palestine was Palestine was there.
You're right, I flipped it. We should have given them a more apropos locale.
April, we fucking tried. You know who shot it down?
Everyone.
The Jews in Israel. Yeah. The Zionists, they shot it down.
Jews were not happy.
After World War II, we offered them land in Eastern Europe.
Perfect.
We offered them South Africa.
Okay.
That might not have ended well either, though. It would have made it 110, I think, at that point. So we tried. We did everything we could because the Western powers saw the troubles that were coming. You know why? Because the Muslims that were already living there were going, you better fucking not. That's why the day after the goddamn country was formed, 6 Muslim countries went, attack.
It is interesting that nobody seems to want to have these people as neighbors.
Jesus.
I don't understand.
Nick, I didn't say anything. I didn't say a goddamn word. Tridio becoming a member for 4 months says, Nick, did you take an energy drink? Remain calm. $10 again from Mercado Law says to the panel, would you rather smash Ben Shapiro or Candace Owens? Both require you to sacrifice your dignity.
Oh, what's your answer?
Candace Owens.
Me too.
I'll see what that's like.
Yeah.
You know,
she's not terrible to look at, right? But you will lose dignity.
She's attractive for that.
She has lovely blazers. That's the redeeming quality.
Sage with $5. Thank you very much, buddy. Says Ben on Rogan for context. It's short. Okay, perfect. Yes, this is good before we get into the Candace Owens thing.
Thank you, everyone.
This is Ben Shapiro on Rogan.
From a Jewish point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ, I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet.
Significant. No. We don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
Wow,
a dick. But
Jeez,
boy,
he is shitty.
But boy, he'll take that Christian gold at dailywire.com. All those Christians who subscribe to Daily Wire. Christians get so fucking played by Israel, it's ridiculous. They go, oh, we need to fight for Israel. We need to keep Israel. We need to do this. It's not like they're going to go, oh, thank you, Christians. Here's what they do. They go, are you going to support us the next time too? It's kind of like being a trans ally or an LGBTQ ally. It's like once you say you support them on one thing, they don't remember that you supported them on one thing. You don't build up good faith and credit. Nope. It's what have you done for me lately?
Exactly. Yep. You can't even open that door.
Don't even. Nick calling me gay for saying Candace Owens.
What were we supposed to say,
We're
Ben?
supposed to rail out Ben Shapiro's petite little lady butthole.
In fairness, Candace might be the type to peg one, whereas you could have been giving it to Ben.
All right, you know what? That's how we end this. Pay-per-view, Candace Owens pegs Ben Shapiro. If I don't see that before I die, I will have wasted a life.
Nick didn't clarify. Do we have to, like you get one of them and I have to have the other one then?
No, I think he's asking the panel. He's asking everyone individually, what would you do? And I'm taking Candace Owens, which I get is gay.
If I can put a ball gag in Ben's mouth so I can't hear him talk.
I'd like to hear him bray like a pig. I'd like to hear him fucking... That's my impression of Ben Shapiro getting sodomized by me.
I remain with Candace, I guess. I can't have that.
Rakeda says, if you said Ben, you would have been called an F slur. Oh, okay, so I made the right choice. There just was no good result.
So you either get gay or F slur. How are you winning?
All right, fine. Andrew Clavin.
Okay.
Fucking bore he is.
All right, throw Crowder in the mix. An outlier.
No, you can't fuck Crowder in the butt. He'd like it.
He'd wear a dress for you.
Oh, he'd
a
sit
short
there and
skirt.
I knew you liked me this whole time.
Oh.
Go get another chest surgery to make yourself look like a man, you douche. All right, can we now let's do this.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens. It gets good and juicy and Jewy and Christian and shitty and passive aggressive and cunty.
Condescending.
Because in fairness to Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, their top argument tactic is condescending cuntiness. Mm-hmm. They majored in it. So Candace Owens tweeted this. For context, let's play the Ben Shapiro clip first. This was Ben Shapiro at some kind of, it looks like a private, like Jewish fundraiser thing.
The only party to be at.
Oh, God, just looks like such a goddamn fun party. So he's at this party with a bunch of Jewish people, and they're not happy with Candace Owens and the way she's been talking about Israel-Palestine. Because the way she's been talking about it on the Daily Wire, I guess, is that, hey, this is fucked up and that terrorist attack is horrible and Israel has a right to defend themselves. But also, boy, they, shutting off the food and the water and the electricity and just bombing indiscriminately. It seems pretty cold-hearted. It seems pretty ruthless. And maybe Israel goes too far in their response, which Candace Owens is not Benjamin Netanyahu. Candace Owens has no impact on how this thing's going to be carried out.
No.
So why can't she just have that opinion? I mean, Ben Shapiro's a free speech guy after all, is he not?
I mean, in name only.
He loves that free speech. So on Daily Wire, you would think this abundance of different ideas would be wonderful, and he would defend it when asked about it publicly because they're on the same team. He'd go, I may not agree with Candace, but man, isn't that what makes Daily Wire great? Is we have a bunch of differing opinions and you can watch a shitload of different content.
Yeah, actually, doesn't that open the door for you to get to talk about your favorite thing?
Yes, himself and Jews. So here he is. I don't think he knew this was being recorded because it does look like it's at somebody's home. And this is what he had to say about Candace Owens.
The question is about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I can't know that. Yeah, and she still works for my company. And I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
So just shits all over. I mean, doesn't even just say that she's wrong, just treats her like she's a fucking idiot.
She's disgraceful.
Yeah, she's disgraceful. It's been ridiculous. It's this, it's that. So then she, again, passive-aggressively responds to Ben Shapiro with a cryptic Bible verse.
Yep.
Just out of nowhere. When you're on Twitter sometimes and you're reading stuff, like I'll tell you this. I may not be a religious man, but sometimes I'm on Twitter and I'm looking for Vikings content to consume, and I think, you know what? I want to put a little John 2:12 tweet out there, apropos of nothing, doesn't mean anything to anything, just I want to put it out there.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Didn't mean anything to you?
Nothing. So Candace Owens tweets out, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Christ is king." If that's not a direct response to Ben Shapiro's little Israel speech there, I don't know what is.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with that, and she was just feeling very godly.
So Ben then kind of sniffs it out, the nose. Ben kind of sniffs this whole thing out and responds to her on Twitter. And he responds by being, again, a total cunt. If you're asking me whose side do I take in this Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro thing, I take the Dr. Kelso approach. Don't involve me in that little squabble you have with that group of miserable sycophants. I hope you all kill each other. Or no, miserable malcontents. He goes, don't involve me in that minor squabble you have with that group of miserable malcontents. I hope you all kill each other. So when it comes to Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, I don't give a shit who comes out on top.
No,
But I think Ben Shapiro is the bigger bitch.
I was going to say, for me, it's going to be whoever can be shittier.
Yeah. So here's what Ben said back to Candace, because, when you work at the same company and it's a very visible international conservative media conglomerate, you do all your discussing things on Twitter because that's
professional.
It's rational, responsible. And what I love about Ben is Mr. Facts over feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. Don't put your emotions into your arguments. Boy, that seems to go out the window when Israel and Netanyahu and all these people who, are running the Israel-Hamas war are involved. Then it's emotion.
It's personal.
And if you criticize Israel whatsoever, what? So you just want Hamas to kill all the Jews? No, I didn't say that. What I said is you guys are fucking ruthless. Like you guys are fucking whacking people left and right, and you don't give a shit. And like, oh yeah, well Hamas does this. Yeah, Ben, Hamas is supposed to be the bad guys. That's what I love about the justification people have in wars like this. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, hey, man, Hamas is evil because they take civilians and they're just wiping them out and shooting them and killing them, and there's bodies all over the place, and it's terrible.
Okay,
and then Israel responds, and you go, hey, you guys are kind of littering the streets of Gaza with the blood of babies. And they're like, well, who gives a shit? It's like, but I thought that's what made those guys the bad guys.
That's why I don't like taking sides and shit like that either, because it's clearly like two evils. Like, that technically have nothing to do with us over here except for all the money that we use to arm both sides.
It's a religious fight. There's never going to be a good guy.
No. You both have points. I get it.
There can be a less bad guy, but there can't be a good guy.
You're both exhausting.
So Ben responds to Candace Owens' Bible passage by saying, Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means, quit. Now, first of all, you can read into it what you want to read into it, and that's fine. And then privately, you can go, like if April wrote something that was like clandestine, but I kind of sensed that it was about me, I would go to her in the house or call her if she wasn't here, and I would go, the fuck was that all about? You talking shit? Just say what you got to say.
Just say you're gay.
You don't go on Twitter and go, oh yeah, well then you can quit your fucking job and you don't have to work at my treehouse anymore. You're being a cunt, Ben. So then Candace Owens responds to Ben by saying, "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." And then I believe there was a response to the response.
Yeah, there was.
Ben Shapiro, I think, did another Candace Owens tweet, but he might be tweeting a lot. Yeah, he's been
Rapid
tweeting.
fire.
Holy
Look at him.
shit. Just 1 hour. Just in the last couple hours. Does he sleep?
No.
It's all just
I'm guessing he's had too much Manischewitz for the night.
Oh, my God.
He's been up a while.
Jesus. So there was that one. I think she did one other one with Benny Boy. I just want to
She
find.
did.
Yeah, I just want to find the other tweet.
We read it last night.
We did. Did she? Did she maybe say?
Don't start deleting things now.
Did she skedaddle the tweet? Did she say fuck it? She just had that one response and then. Oh, here we go. You are utterly out of line for suggesting that I cannot quote biblical scripture. The Bible is not about you. Now that hurts because I do believe Ben Shapiro's position is that the Bible is indeed at least partially about him.
At least a chapter or two.
Yeah, at least he's got
a book or two.
You cannot deny that part of the Bible is actually about me, okay? Some of it is 100% about me. A prince who was promised, that was me. Excuse me, Ben, that was Game of Thrones, not the Bible. Oh, well, either way, I'm Azor Ahai. So in this whole thing, Ben is being remarkably sensitive about anything Israel related, and he's hiding behind his yarmulke every time anybody criticizes Israel or anytime anyone has something, an opinion that's not his own when it comes to this conflict. And now he's in a tricky spot because he's not technically in charge of Daily Wire. It is his creation, but he's not the CEO. He's in a tricky situation here. I'm sure if he calls the CEOs and tells them to fire someone, they will.
There's a chance.
But if you're going to be Mr. Facts over feelings and you're going to be Mr. Free Speech, and then you go and you say, well, I had an uncomfortable moment on Twitter with Candace Owens, like adults do. I want her gone, and you run Candace Owens out of town. Not only are you going to create a lot of sympathy for her where maybe previously there was none.
A lot of it. Mm-hmm.
But also you're going to cause people to leave you because they're going to go, oh, well, you're full of shit.
Yeah, but the problem is with people like Ben is I believe that he thinks that it is facts over emotions. Like, I believe that he's thinking he's being factual about, frankly, everything.
Yeah. CJ says both Ben and Owens suck shit, but I kind of respect Shapiro for saying exactly what he really feels about her. Also, now Owens' friendship with Kanye makes much more sense. Oh, I forgot about that. That had to bother him.
Ugh.
That had to bug him when she started hanging out with Kanye. Phage Lives with gifted a membership to Misdemeanor. Very good. I love that Misdemeanor has a membership. Matthew Jenkins says, Benny Boy sure sounds like those college students that he would destroy. That's another thing that I really can't stand about Ben, is that he goes to these college campuses and he rips apart a bunch of college kids and then goes, well, look at that. I owned them. Yeah. Aren't you also the guy who spends all afternoon or morning on your show talking about how fucking dumb these college kids are?
Right.
It's like you sat there and you built up this team you're going to play. You're like, they're fucking terrible. They're a JV level team. They're awful. We should beat them by 45 points. And then you go in there and you kick the shit out of them by 40 points and you go, wow, wasn't that amazing? It's incredible what I just did to them. It's like, what?
Take a win.
Yeah, Stevie J says Ben won't debate an adult. Well, it's not his fault. He has to get on a step stool to talk to them.
He's child-sized.
He's very tiny. He's just trying to debate people. You know, when someone says, hey, why don't you pick on somebody your own size? That's what Ben's doing.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever seen that video he made where he went to elementary schools and just owned kids on the alphabet?
I actually haven't.
Yeah, he just fucks them up.
I bet he did.
He looked right up to those fourth graders and he said, oh, yeah, I before E except after C. And that's just a fact, and it doesn't care about your feelings.
I want to see him be really cunty in a spelling bee with middle schoolers.
Yeah, and he would.
He'd go back to his little desk later and be like, I own those guys.
Oh, God, this is fucking weird. Guys, can we put Aristocock on S-word watch? I'm concerned about him. Aristocock says, Aaron and April, I'm having a moment and I will unmask myself. Don't! No, you can't break kayfabe. You're exposing the goddamn business. You guys are great and I love the show. If I had more money, I'd donate all the time. Thanks for putting up with the abuse.
Oh my God. What? I'm always wondering when the other shoe's going to drop. That doesn't feel right. Mask on.
Okay, faggot, what's next?
Put the mask back on.
Put the mask back on.
I'm uncomfortable.
You're hideous on the inside. All right, let's, so then the last leg of this Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro thing is Candace went on Tucker's show.
Well timed, by the way.
Great. And Tucker gave her a chance to address the Ben Shapiro thing. Now, if Tucker was a G, he would have been able to get them both on at the same time, and we could have had this thing out.
Maybe he should have them both on separately and then together.
That's not a bad, because then you can drag it out for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. You
Tucker,
can really milk this thing.
There you go. How's this one doing? This one's got 7.7 million views.
Not enough.
Not nearly enough. So, Ben and, by the way, how do you see this ending? Does Candace Owens stay with the Daily Wire?
Yeah.
I don't think they can afford to lose her.
I don't think so either. I don't think they can lose either of them.
And it's Ben's creation.
They shouldn't lose it.
But Ben does have to chill the fuck out a little bit. Like, Ben is way too my way or the highway. And the thing is, a lot of these people now are starting to catch up to Ben in popularity. And Ben, I know you hate this, but those people are Christians. And they're like devout, mean it, creepy Christians, like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens. They're both getting to Ben Shapiro levels. Ben's going to have to share the spotlight with these dirty, filthy goyim if he wants to keep his empire going. And he can't just go, well, look, I'm the Jew that runs the place, you know?
Okay, you're the Jew that runs the place, but she's the resident Christian that all the Christians have all their eggs in the basket with.
Sure.
And I don't think you can get rid of the black lady either.
No, you can't get rid of the black lady.
Token.
They don't call it wrong. They call it disinformation, which suggests it could be right. That's usually a tell. And speaking of, so I was out of the country yesterday. And didn't have adequate internet access on the plane to really follow this. And I don't understand.
Tucker, you poor man. Can somebody guys, can we donate to Tucker Carlson? This is bullshit. He didn't have adequate Wi-Fi access on the plane he was on. I was just listening to the Vice documentary yesterday from the plane ride from hell from WWE, where they chartered all the wrestlers their own flight.
Of course.
Yeah, I did. And can't we get Tucker a nice chartered flight where he's flying nice Wi-Fi and
I think so.
All that shit? I don't like that Tucker goes on planes and he can't stay connected. Where's his PayPal? I want to chip in a couple of bucks.
Understand the context exactly, but the internet was dominated yesterday by video of Ben Shapiro, who you work with at the Daily Wire. I think it's fair to say attacking you. Here's the video. I just want to get your reaction to it.
Yes, the question is about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt.
Okay, disgraceful.
That's a heavy
dick.
word.
Yeah, what a dickbag. Why? Because she doesn't agree with you in lockstep on the Israel thing?
Even if you'd backed off the gas a little and said distasteful, like that's even... Do you need to talk about this at somebody's party?
Ben, Hamas feels that Israel is occupying their land. And you guys have an administration that doesn't exactly behave in a way that makes them feel better about that. The Netanyahu administration has made it very clear that they're not going to take any shit from Muslims, and they will bomb them if they crack whip.
Yep.
You can like that, you can dislike that, but if you can't see that Israel's behavior creates a lot of the distaste that people have for them, I don't know how to help you. I'm an American. And like an America first type of American. Like, I think we should be taking care of our own and all that stuff. And I know that we do fucked up shit that makes people hate us. I know. I'm not a child. 9/11 was because we'd been fucking around in the Middle East for a long goddamn time.
Made some enemies.
I mean, you can't go around going, oh, we're just poor victims all the time. Just victims, victims, victims. People pick on us for absolutely no reason. And, you know, all we do when we're bombing children and mutilating civilians in the streets is defending ourselves. That baby was coming right for us.
You know what is the line that you always use? How, like, if you meet an asshole, you've met an asshole.
Yeah.
You want to finish that one up for me? You always say it better.
If you meet an asshole one day, you met an asshole.
Yeah.
If everyone you meet is an asshole, you're an asshole.
Has anyone ever said that to Ben?
I don't think so. If so, he just called him a goy and dismissed what they said.
Filthy goy.
Filthy goy. Oh, no. Goy fight at the Oy Vey Corral.
But he's not a goy.
That's true.
Yeah, it didn't work.
He's chosen.
I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so he's at some Jewish event because everyone's wearing yarmulkes and stuff. So it's a private, like, Jewish house party, and they're talking, and they're like, Ben, we're very offended at your platform that we all donate, that we all contribute money to, and what this Shiksa has been saying on your platform there about the Jewish people.
Even out of
he's like, well, yeah, she's a dumb black cunt.
Even on a business standpoint, is this something you should be doing, going out and shitting on your employees publicly?
You shouldn't be shitting on your teammates. This would be like if they ask Kirk Cousins about Josh Dobbs, and he goes, yeah, I really hope that fucking dork doesn't take my job. I hope he fucking bombs.
Calls him the N-word.
Calls him the N-word. Yeah, that fucking blurred. What, Kirk? A black nerd. He's a blurred. He just gets really nasty.
But he has to be nerdy about it still.
Right. So you can't say the N-word.
Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
So maybe there's a point in the video where he explains what exactly you did wrong and how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step.
I fucking love that table.
I do too. I am always a fan of live edge wood tables.
I'll give you some live edge wood.
That's a really cool desk.
That is, Tucker, that is the greatest table I think I've ever seen.
Can we someday, when you've put enough holes in this one, can we upgrade?
I would love that table.
Yeah.
Oh, she's getting fat.
Yeah, she's totally fat, Aaron. Jeez, you're cunty.
Why is it all there? None of it's gone to her face.
And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
You know,
it'd be funny if she went, well, Tucker, Ben's a Jew, and you know how they get.
Jew shit, Tucker.
There isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was.
I did. I saw the yarmulke front and center.
Particularly speaking on. And
do you know how much some of those old school Jews probably hate that a black Christian lady is giving anybody shit?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they don't like that.
Sure, their blood just boils.
In what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree, or I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say,
wow, it's almost like Ben is letting his feelings overtake his expression of facts. See, I like shit like this because it was like the Crowder thing. I didn't hate Candace Owens in that. I thought she was like a pit bull, like, yeah, fuck him in the ass. I think
we liked her then.
I think I'm finding a level of, and maybe I'm wrong because I don't follow her that much, but maybe I'm finding a little more honesty about who she is in Candace Owens than I am in Ben Shapiro. And I could be wrong about that. But what I'm getting from her is that she's like, look, if Ben wants to tell me what I got wrong, then I'd love to hear it and we can discuss it. Whereas Ben's like, she's ridiculous. It's disgraceful. It's awful. It's terrible. Like, Ben is the woman in this argument. Mm-hmm. And Candace is kind of being the dude.
Well, it's like a scholar fighting with a toddler.
Yeah, and usually Ben likes to see himself as the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks.
Yes.
I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Look, we're being cunty. There's no doubt about it.
She is straddling that line perfectly for me. Like, she's doing a good job.
And with her pregnancy state, I mean, to be able to maintain that balance is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's probably also going to get her little sympathy points too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at what Ben's doing to this woman.
You to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what? Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting. We disagree.
Bullshit.
It is very
I find the
interesting.
Civil War at the Daily Wire to be very, very interesting. This is the most interesting shit you guys have done since Crowder. Are you kidding? Do you have any recorded phone messages?
There's gotta be, right? These two have definitely left messages.
You think Candace Owens would be the type where when things start to get dicey, she hits record? You think she'd play that game?
Maybe.
I think so.
On the COVID vaccine, we disagree on Ukraine and Russia. He has taken virtually every stance that has been the opposite of mine on every issue.
Well, Ben's very neocon, so I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks it's great that we give money to Ukraine.
For the last 5 years.
And he was
So I don't
pro-vaccine.
think that that's
On the
particularly
COVID
remarkable.
vaccine. Really, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was pro the COVID vaccine. I was anti the vaccine. You know, we were all idiots for not getting the vaccine. So that's totally fine. I am.
See, just a little, they're taking little cunt shots at each other. Everyone's an idiot if they took the vaccine, according to Ben. We saw that working out.
They can't help themselves.
No, I love it.
They're, you know what though? They're
Girls,
probably,
keep this
they're
going.
so alike though in a lot of ways. They probably couldn't help but be in the same room together. It's just that
catty.
they're catty. They're both very good at arguing.
Yeah.
But it's just you know, two like-minded people are gonna butt heads quite a lot.
And, you know, he's really good at just arguing for the sake of arguing. Like, you don't even have to be right, wrong, indifferent. He just likes to fucking argue.
He likes flexing that muscle.
Yeah.
Totally open to people having a difference in opinion.
Right.
I would hope that amongst colleagues that it would always be a civil disagreement, and I would never in a private event stand on a table and talk badly about Ben.
Now, in fairness, you don't have to stand on a table because unlike Ben, you're not 5'1".
I think she's actually pretty tall.
So let's not criticize Ben for having to stand on a table. He's just a widow guy.
Oh, I want to see them stand next to each other now. She would tower.
I want to
over
see him stand in platform shoes to make a speech.
5'9"
would
and
say-
6-inch boots.
It's a little weird. So he was on the left on those three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted.
I really don't think Tucker likes Ben Shapiro.
Three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted responsibility. He said, you know, I was wrong about the vaccine.
Oh, good. Good for him.
He is, you know, obviously pro pharma. His mom's a doctor. And I say to people, I'm very aware of my perspectives on big pharma, and I talk about it on my show openly. And I think that that's a tremendous credit to the Daily Wire that they allow a difference of opinions. But as I
Yeah, well, hey, you keep it up with the Christianity shit and the serving two masters stuff. We're going to get to test how freedom of speech the Daily Wire really is. It's going to be fascinating. Very interesting.
I know that you asked me, but I don't know if you answered. Do you believe that she leaves the Daily Wire over this? Or do you think she stays?
I don't think it's time. I think she will leave the Daily Wire eventually. I think that she's getting too big to not do something on her own.
Okay.
Like, you can say what you want about Crowder, and he's a douche and he's terrible, but he's going to be fine financially. Like, he has more than enough followers and enough fans. Just his views on Rumble alone, he's going to make very good money.
Okay.
And he's got that mug club and everything else. Crowder's making millions of dollars a year. He's going to be fine. And Candace Owens is getting to that point where she could almost make millions of dollars a year just doing a show on her own every day on a streaming platform. But it's not time yet. The deal at the Daily Wire is still the juicy deal for her to have. But, you know, a couple more fights with Benny Boy,
Yes.
and maybe...
That was going to be my answer. Get in a few more tiffs with Ben, and could be well on your way to doing your own thing.
Couple more Benny tiffs and you might be out the door.